Hello, good evening. I've been kindly confirm if you're if I'm audible to you.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
All right, thanks for confirming. Mariam, you there? Am I audible to you? Okay, then Abin and Mariam. Let's start section. Just a moment. Just a second. Okay. So all right, both of you. In the previous class, we had started this topic, ratio analysis, wherein I've told you that the ratios in the chapter can be broadly classified into uh, four parts, which is liquidity ratio, solvency ratio, activity, and profitability ratio. Out of which we have already discussed the current ratio and liquid ratio. Oh, I'm sorry. Out of which we have already discussed current ratio in the previous class. And I think I gave you a few questions for the based on the current ratio as well, which I'm sure that you must have already done. So in today's class, we'll be talking about the liquid ratio, which is also known as quick ratio. All right. So if you have any doubt relating to the question that I gave you as a homework or the concept that we discussed in the previous class, only let me know. Else we'll start with the next ratio, which is the liquid ratio. Formula for which we had, I think, already written in the previous question. Okay. So Evan and Mariam, do you guys have any doubt relating to previous session?
No,
No doubt. Mariam, do you have any doubt? No. All right. So in that case, I think we can start with the next ratio, which is the quick ratio or the liquid ratio. And this is also known as acid test ratio. Formula for which I think we have already covered in the previous session itself, which is liquid asset or quick asset divided by the current liability. Just a second. All right. So let me just give you a quick recall of the of the formula. Formula for the quick ratio is just a moment. Yeah. Formula for this is liquid liquid asset, or this is also called quick asset divided by the current liabilities. All right. Formula is clear, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So to understand it more, let's do a quick question based on the quick ratio or liquid ratio. We'll start with sorry. We'll start with this question, question number 9. All right. So I want all of you to take the screenshot of this question quickly and let me know as soon as you are done. Done with the screen. Okay, sorry. Done with the screenshot. Done with the screenshot, Tabin.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. Now see, this is the formula for finding out the quick ratio. And to find out the quick ratio, we need to find out the liquid asset and then divided by the current liability. But you need to understand that liquid asset is calculated by this is the formula for finding out the liquid asset. In order to find out the liquid asset, what do we basically do? We take the value of the current asset. Pay attention because this is very, very important to solve the question that you have taken the screenshot for. We will consider the value of the current asset first of all. And out of current asset, if we subtract the value of the inventories and if we subtract the value of the prepaid expenses as well, then the amount left will be considered as the liquid asset. This is the liquid asset. Please note this formula. Liquid asset equals to current asset minus inventory minus prepaid expenses. So why we are subtracting inventories and prepaid expenses? See, first of all, you will have to understand the meaning of the liquid asset, or sometimes this is also called the quick asset. Quick or liquid asset. So quick asset is what? Quick asset is any asset which can be immediately convertible into cash. Any asset which is easily and immediately convertible into cash are called quick asset or liquid asset. So if we talk about the quick asset, see, current asset are basically asset which can be realized within the period of 12 months. But inventory, see, inventory takes some time to be sold, and the amount against the inventory cannot be realized on immediate basis. Similarly, prepaid expenses is not something that is realizable on immediate basis. So we need to subtract inventories and prepaid expenses to figure out the value of the quick asset. All right, so remember the formula to figure out the value of the liquid or quick asset. You need to subtract inventories and prepaid expenses out of the current asset. I hope this is clear, everybody. Now we'll solve the next question. Solution to question number 9. Coming back to the question, this question says you have to find out the liquid ratio, right? So as usual, find out the liquid ratio. What we'll do, we'll first of all apply the formula. Liquid ratio or quick ratio equals to liquid asset divided by current liabilities. All right. Now let's find out what is given in the question. See, we have current asset, inventory, prepaid expenses, trade receivable, and current liabilities are given. So that means out of current liquid asset and current liability is already there in the question, 70,000, right? But the liquid asset is not directly given in the question. Rather, the value of the current asset, inventory, and prepaid expenses is there. So in order to find out the current value of the current asset, what we'll do, we'll simply subtract the value of the inventories and prepaid expenses out of the current asset, like I said. So we'll take the value of the current asset minus inventories out of it minus prepaid expenses out. All right. Now, if you are not able to see the both, current asset minus inventory minus prepaid expenses. Now see the value of the current assets is given in the question to that. Inventories is there, 50,000 minus the prepaid expenses is also there, 10,000 divided by 70,000. All right. Now we'll calculate it. 2 lakh minus 50,000 minus 10,000 will be 1 lakh. 40,000, is that right? Divided by 70,000. So the answer in this case will be equals to 1. This is the liquid ratio or the quick ratio. I hope this is clear, everyone. Is this clear, Abin, Mariam? Okay. And see, the ideal liquid ratio is 1:1. However, in this question, we are not getting the ideal ratio. Ideal ratio is 1:1. We got 2:1 as the answer. Both of you done writing? Done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Moving on to next question. Question number 10. Current asset, inventories, working capital is there. You need to find out the value of the quick ratio. Please do it. Please solve it and let me know the ratio you got. Eben, you're doing it.
Yes, sir, I'm doing.
Please solve it quickly and let me know the answer. Done, Mariam. You're still solving it. What happened, Eben, Mariam? You're still solving it. See, let me help you. See, first of all, we'll apply this formula: quick ratio equals to liquid asset divided by current liability. Now we know that in place of liquid asset, we can write down current asset minus inventory minus prepaid expenses divided by the current liability. Right, now let's find out what is already given in the question. So we are provided with the value of the current asset. Current asset is given as 6 lakh, right? Out of which we can subtract the amount of inventory, it is 1,20,000. Okay. And we need to subtract prepaid expenses, but prepaid expenses is not given in the question. So we can take the value of the prepaid expenses as 0. All right. And then we will divide this by current liability. But the thing is that current liability is also not given in the question. We will have to figure out the value of the current liability. Current liability is also not there. And unless we find the value of the current liability, we won't be able to find out the quick ratio. We'll prepare a working note here for finding out the current liability. Right? Now see, we are provided with the, if you can see, we are provided with the working capital. Working capital. And do you know the formula for working capital? Eben and Mariam?
So
Formula for current asset minus current liability. So working capital is already given as 5,04,000. And current asset is also there, 6 lakh. By subtracting working capital out of current asset, we'll get the current liability, right? So current liability is equal to
get like 96,000.
6 lakhs minus 5 lakh, 4,000, that will be 96.
Yeah, 96,000 will get us.
Yeah. So ultimately, this will be 6 lakh minus 120 will be 4 lakh 80,000, I guess, divided by 96,000. All right. So answer will be 5:1. Understood? Is it clear? Tell me if it is clear, yes or no.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Mariam, is it clear to you? You're not responding today. What happened? Is everything okay, Mariam? Is this clear, Mariam? Okay, anyway, so let's move to the next question. Next, we have the question number 11, which is a similar question. Again, we need to find out the value of the, this time the current ratio and liquid ratio is given. And we need to find out the value of the inventory. So let's try this question, and I'll be giving the next question as the homework. All right, so do you want to give it a try, Abin, Mariam? Do you want to first try it, Abin and Mariam? Please give it a try.
Okay, sir.
doing, both of you? Kindly confirm if you are doing it or not. Mariam, why are you not responding today?
Yes, sir, we are doing.
Okay. All right, everyone. So see, we need to find out the liquid ratio for this question. And the formula for which is liquid acid divided by the current liability, right? Now, see, we have basically to find out the liquid acid, what we can do. We can subtract the amount of inventories out of current asset, right? Current assets minus the inventories. And then we will divide this by current liabilities. All right. Now see, we have no information regarding the prepaid expenses, so let's presume that it is not there in the question. All right. But the current liabilities is given. Apart from this, we have the current ratio as well. And liquid ratio is also given as 1:1. Keeping that in mind, what we can do, we can simply, in place of liquid ratio, we can take the value as 1, because this is already given 1, or this can also be interpreted as 1:1. And to find out the value of the current liability, what we can do, we can prepare a working note. We just first of all prepare a working note. By applying a working note, we can calculate the value of the current asset by applying the formula for the current ratio. Right? Current ratio is already given in the question. Na? Current ratio is current asset minus current liability. Is that right? Current ratio is given in the question. 3:1. So 3:1 means 3 divided by 1. And current asset is not given there in the question, but the current liability is there. Current liability is just a minute. I think the current liability is also not given in the question. Na? Current liability of the company is given. Current liability is 6. Okay, so that means current asset must be 18 lakh. Is that right? Is that clear, Evan? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, now we can take the value of the current asset in the formula. In place of liquid ratio, we can just simply write down. Liquid ratio can be written as 1/1, 1:1, right? In place of current asset, we can write down 18 lakhs minus inventories. Inventory is something that we need to find out. And current liability is already given in the question, 6 lakh. Is that right? Now I think from this point onward, you can yourself solve the question. Yes or no? See. So 6 into 1 will be 6 lakh equals to 18 lakh. minus the inventories. So value of inventories will be 12. It will be 12 times. Is that clear? Tell me if this is clear or not.
Yes, it's clear.
Clear. All right. You're still writing it? You're still writing it or you are done?
Still writing it. Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. Do you want to try the next question? Can you take the screenshot of the question number 12? I'm giving this as a homework to you. Done with the screenshot? Take the screenshot of the next question, question number 13. Homework as well. Also take the screenshot of 14. Question number 15. Question number 16. All these questions are your homework question. Understood, everyone? Rabin, Mariam. There's too much silence in today's class. Nobody's responding.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, now let's move to the next topic. We'll talk about the debt to equity ratio. But before that, let's first of all understand. See, we have covered the liquidity ratio, right? Under liquidity ratio, we had two ratios, current ratio and quick ratio that we covered. Now we'll talk about the next ratio, which is solvency ratio. All right, solvency ratio. And if you remember, I think we covered the various ratios that falls under the solvency ratio. I'm not sure. Anyways, see, under the solvency ratio, we have four formulas, four ratios, which is number one, which is debt to equity ratio. All right. And the second formula is total asset to debt ratio. Third one is proprietary ratio. And the last one is interest coverage ratio. All right, everybody. These are four different ratios under the solvency ratio. Let's first talk about the debt to equity ratio. And I want all of you to note down the formula for this. To find out the debt to equity ratio, formula is total debt divided by equity of the company. Debt divided by equity. So debt is what? Debt basically means non-current liability. Remember that. Debt means non-current liabilities. And similarly, equity means shareholders fund. Now, I'm sure that all of you already know the meaning of the shareholders fund, right? Shareholders fund contains what? It contains the equity share, preference shares, reserve and surplus, all these things. I'm sure everybody is able to recall that. All right. This is the formula for the debt equity ratio. Then we have the other ratio, total asset to debt ratio, the formula for which is total asset divided by total debt of the company. Total debt means long-term debt, long-term debt or non-current liabilities, you can say. Then the next formula is proprietary ratio. Formula for this is proprietors fund divided by total assets of the company. Now it is again a little confusing. What is proprietors fund? So see, proprietor fund is nothing but the shareholders fund. Shareholder fund is itself called proprietors fund. Understood? Is it clear, everybody? And the
Yes.
last ratio is interest coverage ratio. So to find out the interest coverage ratio, what we do, we take the value of the profit for interest and taxes. We will have to figure it out. Profit before interest and tax. In short, this is called PBIT. PBIT means profit before interest and tax. Dividing it by total assets, we'll get the value of the interest coverage ratio. I hope this is clear, everybody. Understood? This is the formula for finding out the interest coverage. So what we'll do, we'll do questions based on these ratios one by one, starting with the debt equity ratio. All right, I'm sure all of you must have written this down. Both of you, Mariam and Evan, done writing the formula.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll start first of all with the debt to equity ratio. How does it actually work? How do we actually calculate it? We'll be covering it through a small question. Mariam is saying, so can you show the fourth one? Yeah, sure. Fourth one is interest coverage ratio, which is PBIT divided by total asset. Okay. Now, let's start with a question. Let's first of all discuss question number 17, which is based on the debt to equity ratio. So, see, in this question is very straightforward. It requires you to find out the debt to equity ratio. Solution to question number 17. Formula will apply for finding out the debt to equity ratio. And the formula is total debt right? Divided by total equity. And as I told you, that means non-current liabilities and equity means shareholders fund, right? Now see, what is given in the question? It is given in the question. Equity share capital is given in the question 5 lakh. General reserve is there 90,000. Accumulated profit is 50%, 50,000. 10% debenture 1,30,000 and current liability is there 1 lakh. Now see, first of all, equity, general reserve, and accumulated profit, these are all collectively known as shareholders fund. Understood? So in place of equity, we'll take the value of the equity share capital number one, equity share capital. But apart from this, general reserve will also be taken into consideration. I'm writing this as GR, standing for general reserve, and then accumulated profits plus profit. All these values collectively called equity or basically shareholders fund. All right. Similarly, in place of debt, we'll just consider the value of the non-current liabilities. Keep that in mind. We'll take the value of the non-current liability, not the current liability. So there is only one non-current liability, which is 10% debenture. So we'll take the value of the 10% debenture in place of the debt. So 10% debenture is given as 1,30,000 in the question. Equity share is 5 lakh. Plus reserve is there in the question 90,000. And profit is given as 50,000. So whether we should consider the value of the current liability, which is given in the question as 1 lakh, answer is no. We won't be considering that because it is our current liability, not the long-term liability, non-current liability. So adding the value of the equity will be 5 lakh plus 90,000, 5 lakh 90 plus 50, 6 lakh 40,000. Now 1 lakh 30,000 divided by 6 lakhs 40,000. We'll get the answer as 0.23, 0.203 to 1. Tell me everyone, is this clear? Yes or no? Mariam, Abin. Clear, okay. Abin, is this clear? You are still writing it.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay. Then let's move to the next question, question number 18. And I want you to try this question. Give it a try quickly. I'm waiting for you to finish. And you let me know the answer as soon as you are done. Doing Mariam have been doing, still doing, both of you, or done? Have been
Yes, sir. Point.
at least solve a question for me, no?
Yes, sir. Solved.
Solved. And what is the ratio you have got?
Sir, 0.35.
0.35.
Yes, sir.
That is already given in the question itself. Anyways, so how did you manage to get 0.35? Could you please explain? How did you get the, first of all, because you need to find out the debt, na? Debt to equity ratio. So what is the value of the debt?
Sir, 1,50,000 at 10%.
Yeah. So 1 lakh? Yeah, tell me quick. Tell me again. 1 lakh? Not able to hear you. 1 lakh?
Sir, debt's value you're talking 1,50,000.
Okay, and what is the shareholders fund?
Sir, that one equity 1 lakh plus 2 lakh and plus 90,000 plus 40,000 you will get 4 lakhs. So
4 lakh or 4 lakh 30,000?
1,50,000 divided by
4 lakh 30,000.
4,30,000.
Yes. And then
Yes,
what
sir.
the answer now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then so I think we can move to the next question. Since this is correct. Question number 19. Again, we need to find out the debt to equity ratio. Try solving this. debt to equity ratio equals to total debt. That means non-current liabilities divided by equities. That means shareholders fund. Okay, now see, in the question, shareholder fund is directly given 2 lakh, but the debt is not there in the question. All right, to find out the debt, what we'll do, if you remember in the previous class, I've told you that shareholders fund plus the non-current liabilities is equal to what? You remember that? We understood that in the previous session. Mariam, do you able to recall shareholders fund plus non-current liabilities what? And then do you remember it? Yes or no? Capital employed, guys. What are you doing? Shareholder fund is given in the question. Sorry, capital employed is given in the question, and shareholder fund is also there. Capital employed is 8 lakh, and shareholder fund is given as 2 lakh plus non-current liabilities. So non-current liabilities equal to 6 lakh. So 6 lakhs divided by 2 lakh will be 3:1. This is the answer. Please note this down quickly. I've been done writing this.
Sir, can you scroll down a bit?
All right, everyone, take the screenshot of this question. Do you want to try it now, or shall I give this as a homework to you? Again, in this question, you need to find out the question is saying calculate ratio indicating long-term and short-term financial position. So see, when question says that you need to find out the long-term financial position, it requires you to figure out the value of the current ratio. And short-term position basically means the debt to equity. Sorry, long-term position basically means the, just a minute. Yeah. Long-term position basically means current ratio, and short-term position basically means debt to equity ratio. Just look at the question and tell me whether you will be able to do it or not. Shall I give this as a homework? Mariam is saying that if I can solve it or not. Yeah. Okay, Mariam, I'll solve this for you. So this is question number 20. We need to find out, first of all, the current ratio and the debt to sorry. We need to find out the long term and short term ratio. No? So long term ratio is basically debt to equity ratio, and short term ratio basically means current ratio. Understood? So keeping that in mind, let's first of all write long term financial position. Figure out the long term financial position, we will figure out the value of debt to equity ratio. And the formula for which is total debt divided by the equity. All right. On the other hand, to determine the short term financial position, we'll figure out the value of the current ratio. And current ratio is equal to current assets minus the current liability. Understood? Let's first of all start with the current. I guess the current ratio is easier to find. Let's first of all find out the value of the current asset. Current ratio. All right. Current ratio is easier to figure out. So, in order to figure out the value of the current ratio, a current asset and current liability is straightforward given in the question. Right? On the right hand side of the table, you can see current asset is 1 lakh, 12 lakh, and current liability is 8 lakh. So, 12 divided by 8. So, answer for this will be 12 divided by 8 will be 1.5 is to 1. Right? I hope this is clear. Okay. Apart from this, we need to find out the value of the debt to equity ratio as well. And for that purpose, we'll take the value of the the equity and debtors. So out of the given information, let's figure out the value of the debt. 10% preference shares is will be part of the equity. This is part of shareholders fund. 5 lakhs. Okay. Then equity share capital is 15 lakh. Then security premium reserve. Again, reserves falls under which category? Reserves falls under which category? It falls under the reserve and security premium reserve falls under the reserve and surplus. So if reserve and surplus is directly given in the question, we do not have to consider the value of the security premium reserve. Why? Because I'm presuming that security premium reserve will also be included in the reserve and surplus. So instead of considering the security premium reserve, we should only consider the value of reserve and surplus. All right, so we'll add the value of reserve and surplus. 4 lakh. Then apart from this, there is nothing that will come under the shareholders fund, I guess. There will be nothing that can be recorded under the shareholders fund. 5 lakh plus 15 lakh plus 4 lakh. That is it. This is the total shareholders fund. Talking about the debt, we'll have to talking about the debt. Let's figure out the value of the debt. Debt is only given as long-term loan. Long-term loan from IDBI is given as a question at 90%, 9%, that is 30 lakh. Right? Apart from the, I don't think there is any other long-term liability given in the question. There is no non-current liability, guys. So 30 lakhs will be the total debt. Tell me if this is clear, yes or no?
Sir, how did you got that 30 lakh? Can you explain?
There is no need to explain, Evan. This is already given in the question, na? Long-term loan from IDBI at 9%, which is given as 30 lakh.
Okay.
This is the non-current liability only. Is there anything that you think that will fall under the non-current liability? I don't think there are any other item that will fall under the category of non-current liability. So there is only one item. 30 divided by 5 plus 15 plus 4. That will be 24 lakhs. Calculating this, we will be getting 1.25:1. Tell me if this is clear, yes or no? Kindly confirm, Mariam, Evan. Clear. Okay.
Yes, sir. Clear.
All right. So this was question number 20. Okay, so we'll take the screenshot of the next question, question 21. This is your homework question. Also take the screenshot of question number 22. Again, this is a homework question. This might seem difficult because it gives you the balance sheet, but this is pretty simple. All you need to do is figure out the value of the find out the value of the non-current liability and the equities. That is it. Not the entire balance sheet is useful. You just need to figure out the value of the shareholders fund and the non-current liability. That is it. All right. I think you will be able to do it. Take the screenshot. Done. Is it clear? Sorry. Done with the screenshot, everybody. Okay. Now we will move to the next topic, which is the total asset to debt ratio. This is the second ratio under the solvency ratio, right? First one was debt to equity. Second one is total asset to debt ratio. Remember the formula for it? Both of you? Remember the formula? Go back, flip the page and try to figure out the formula.
So total assets divided by 10.
Yes, that is right. Total asset divided by the debt.
Debt.
Okay. So keeping that in mind, let's do one or two questions based on this as well. Yeah. Question number 23. I want both of you to try this question first. Shareholder fund is there. Total debt is given. Current liability is given. And you need to find out the total asset to debt ratio. See, in this question, this formula will be applied. Total asset to debt ratio equals to total asset divided by the total debt. That is directly given given in the question, 3,60,000. But the total asset is not given there. But there are certain information using which we can figure out the value of the total asset. All right. To figure out the value of the total asset, what we can do, we can use the formula for the shareholders fund. If you are able to recall, we discussed this in the previous session as well. I've told you that shareholders fund plus the non-current liabilities plus current liability is equal to total asset. Right? Yes, now. So shareholder fund is already given in the question, 1,60,000. Okay, and total debt is also there. Total debt is also there. Total debt means non-current liabilities given, 3,60,000. And current liability is also given, 40,000. So if we add these values, we'll figure out, we get the value of the total asset. Yes or no? So total assets will be 160 plus 360. That will be 520 plus 40. This is, I guess, 5,80,000. Right? No, just a minute. 360 plus 40 will be 4 lakh and 5,60,000. Is it correct? And this is clear. And now we can take the value of 5,60,000 here. Understood, everyone? Just a minute, let me just repeat it. 1,60,000 plus 3,60,000 plus I think we have made some mistake. Just a minute. Okay. Total debt is given in the question, na? All right. So see, if total debt is given, that means total of the non-current liability and current liabilities collectively given. Non-current liability and current liability is collectively called total debt. Now 1,60,000 plus total debt is given as 3,60,000 in the question. So the value of the total asset will be, this will be 5,20,000 only. Okay. And now we can put this value here, like 20. And dividing this, we'll get the answer 1.625 is to 1. Is it clear, both of you? Mariam, is this clear to you? Evan, is this clear to you? Evan, is it
Yes.
clear?
Yes.
Okay then.
Can you show the work?
Note it quickly.
Yes, sir.
Next question. Please take a screenshot. I'm giving this as a homework to you. Question number 25, take a screenshot. Done?
Yes, sir.
26 as well. Take a screenshot. Next question, take the screenshot. Done? Is it done? Question number 28. Okay, let me solve this question for you. Total asset to debt ratio we need to figure it out in this question. Total asset to debt ratio. Solution to question number 28. Again, we'll apply the formula total asset to debt ratio equals to total assets divided by debt. Okay. So total asset, let's find out whether the value of the total asset is given in the question or not. No, there is no information regarding the total asset is given in the question directly. Right? But we have the value of the, I guess the debt is there. Right now? Debt long-term, oh just a minute. Long-term borrowings is given. Debt is given by the name of the long-term borrowing. All right, everyone. This time, debt is given by the name of long-term borrowings. Just a moment. So, first of all, if we talk about the total debt, first of all, we'll include the value of the long-term borrowing. Number one. Number two, long-term provisions will also be included. that will also form part of the total debt. So this way, total debt will be, first of all, we'll take the value of the long-term borrowing plus long-term provisions. All right. And the total asset is not given in the question. Anyways. So long-term borrowing is how much? It is 1,80,000 in the question. And the long-term provision is given as 1,20,000. Total asset is still missing. We will have to figure out the value of the total asset. And for that purpose, I guess we'll have to prepare the working note. All right. So formula for finding out the total asset is shareholders fund plus the total debt. That is non-current liability plus the current liability. All right. So shareholders working note will prepare it for the finding out the total asset. Total asset equal to shareholder fund plus non-current liability plus current liability. Shareholder fund is given in the question, not directly, but information is given for that purpose. Equity share capital 4 lakh. This will be the part of shareholders fund. Then we have surplus, that is profit 1 lakh. All right. Then general reserve 70,000. Adding all these, we will get the value of the shareholders fund. Then talking about the non-current liabilities, we will include in the non-current liability long-term borrowings plus long-term provisions 3 lakh. And the current liabilities as well, which is given as 30,000. All right. Now let's add this 5,70,000 plus 3 lakhs plus 30,000. Totaling this, we will get 6 lakh. I guess this will be equal to 9 lakh, right? 9. So total asset is 9. Now we will be putting this value here. 9. 9 lakhs divided by 3 lakh equals to 3:1. Is it clear, both of you? Eben, Mariam, understood? Mariam, is this clear to you? Eben, is this clear to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Second,
Done with the working note as well? Yeah, sure. All right, so both of you, this is it for today's session. We have discussed 3 type of ratio today, starting with the quick ratio, which we discussed under the basically the liquidity ratio. And then we started solvency ratio, wherein I've told you that under solvency ratio, we have 4 ratios: debt to equity, total asset to debt, and proprietary and interest coverage ratio. Out of 4, we have already covered 2 ratios: debt to equity ratio and total asset to debt ratio. In the next session, we will be discussing the remaining 2 ratios under the solvency ratio. All right, we'll start with the proprietary ratio, and we have one more ratio left. Yeah, interest coverage ratio. We'll cover these 2 ratios in the next session, and then we will start a different ratio, different category of ratio, which is activity ratio. All right, and just I just wanted to say that please make sure that you give enough time